Well. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite gaming, tech, news, and culture show, No Life Digital. Hello, everyone. Every Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Today a little late. Had some family over. This is the only show where we tell you what day and time it is, and then we change it on every fucking day. Anyways, today, not too much. We have some stories. We're going to talk about Lola Bunny. We didn't touch on this last week, but I want to discuss the concept of sexualized cartoons. We're going to talk some NFTs. Everyone knows about NFTs these days. Is it a scam? What is it for? Can you make money doing it? What's an NFT? Twitch is implementing a brand safety score. Microsoft closed their deal, $7.5 billion with Bethesda. It's finally been done. And we might have other news droplets in and out. Make sure you head over to our website, nolife.digital, if you want to subscribe to the podcast. There's a little thing right here that says podcast. Click on it. You can listen to the podcast right on the website, or you can go down to these links right here, Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, and make sure you subscribe to that. That way you can stay updated on all the episodes. And subscribe over on YouTube as well, youtube.com/nolifedigital, and follow over on Twitch, twitch.tv/nolifedigital. Okay. Actually, what is our Twitch? I forget. It is No Life Digital, I believe. I don't even know what our Twitch is. So what's up, dudes? You guys have a good weekend?
Yeah, it's been pretty good so far. I have a washing machine again finally, for the first time since January, so that's been great.
There you go.
But there's been my excitement basically. The washing machine broke then, and it's taken that long thanks to pandemic.
Yeah, I finished Persona 5 Strikers yesterday on stream.
How was that? Good?
Good. I thought it was great. It was... When they first announced that game, and it was like, all right, it's going to be Persona meets, like, Muso, I was a little hesitant. I was like, I don't know how that's going to work. But when you get into it, it's really well done. I really liked it. I know some people, and I apparently found this out, there's a good subset of the, I guess, Final Fantasy VII fan base that hated Final Fantasy VII Remake's combat, and they were like, either be an action game or be an RPG, but don't do action RPG. And then playing Persona 5 Strikers, it's very similar to that, where you have your action, but then you can pause time and do your skills. Final boss not that hard, but the game has a lot of replayability in that if you want to platinum it, you have to go through the different difficulties. But I mean, I put 45 or like 40 to 45 hours into the game, which is the longest Muso game I've ever played.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I loved it. It felt like the perfect sequel to Persona. It was like jumping in with the same characters again. I would personally give it, for my own personal score, an 8.5.
Nice. That's not
there
bad.
was a few things here and there that were I think it needs an update, because one of the main issues I had was audio. And I think it's definitely impacted from the recording from home for the voice actors, but some of the lines are really quiet versus the music. Some characters, some of their lines, you just can't hear them at all. The PC version allows you to change the audio settings of character voices and BGM, but on consoles you can't change that, which is a weird thing. I wish they had been able to give you that option.
Why would they have different options for different platforms?
Because PC probably is easier to do that kind of thing, but I don't know why they couldn't put that into the console version.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, but other than that, the game was fine. I played it on a PS5, so loading times were non-existent. I know people who have played on the Switch, and it's a slog to play it on the Switch.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this new Switch comes out pretty soon, so they can get some sort of quicker access to these games.
Throw an SSD flash card onto it.
Well, yeah,
do they make SSD flashes?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, NVMe, but it's not flat. It's so. It is Flash, but it's not Flash that you would think of like an SD card.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not like an SD, but
But it
Yeah,
is Flash
kind of based
memory
around the same tech
technically.
would it
Yeah.
improve loading times is the question.
Yes.
tremendously.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Yeah.
But it would also
I just
it would also be
realized-
more expensive.
Yes. I also realized I kept calling it a washing machine. I'm talking about a dishwasher.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a different. It's a different.
I don't know why, dude. I've been like all week. I've been accidentally just like, yeah, dude, washing machine because it washes nice stuff.
Yeah, I guess a sink
no,
is technically a
dishwasher.
washer machine as well. A washing machine.
But
as
yeah,
well. Yeah, I've just been dealing with the child and playing Path of Exile, and I realized I have 250 hours into it. There's a gauntlet going on with like Zizarin and Shopify, and I was thinking about joining that, but I don't know if I can. I have to stop. It's just becoming too much. I want another game to come out to take my time the way that game is.
World of Warcraft Classic, The Burning Crusade, which we might be seeing a pre-patch or beta this week. Yeah.
I was thinking about World of Warcraft. It seems like the in terms of like complexity, there's two games that come to mind: Path of Exile and World of Warcraft. Would you say World of Warcraft is more complex than Path of Exile?
No.
No.
Nah. Mechanically okay. Classic, sort of, because there's a lot of weird nuance and it's a lot more of an RPG in that sense of like there is weird mechanics that can interact with each other of like items and stuff like that. But like retail, WoW, no, it's pretty fucking simple comparatively.
Yeah.
But mechanically, it's a lot harder.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, mechanically, Path of Exile, I would say, isn't too difficult, but it's all the other bullshit that's involved. Yeah, I've been thinking about it. I'm afraid that I'm afraid of just trading one addiction for another. But
yeah, no, yeah. But I agree. And I'm waiting for PoE for 2.0 because that's where it's like, okay, let's see all the changes and stuff.
I'm hoping we see it next year. I hope we see PO at least some sort of like date, like hard date.
Yeah, because like they had a lot of the cool changes, especially with like the way sockets and gems work and things like that, where it's like, okay, that seems like that will help the game a lot more than like, well, dude, I'm gonna grind until I get my 6th link and
Right.
then game's easy.
Hold on, my camera froze.
Yeah. So that is like the downside of Path of Exile is a lot of it is grinding. Like it's I do like it, but it's a lot of it's like, okay, so once you get your 5 link, you're feeling pretty solid, but then it's just like
But to get the
grind to get your
6
6
link,
links, you have to grind forever, but when you get 1 or 2, you scale infinitely, you know what I mean?
yeah, I got some. I mean, my this league was pretty nice to me, and I'm pretty like I can pretty much just stomp anything. So this is why I was thinking about doing a gauntlet, but I don't know. It's just taking up so much time. It's so fucking addicting, and I kind of want to play something else. That's what I've been doing, and looking into the NFT world, which we'll touch on. Other than that, let's get into some news because we got some stuff here. All right, have you guys? This is the one I wanted to talk about this last week, but we kind of skipped over it. So Lola Bunny has been de-sexualized. Now, I'm curious to know what you guys think of this idea of de-sexualizing, because if we think of like cartoons of that era, I mean, yeah, a lot of these cartoon characters were sexualized in a weird way, but it kind of, I don't know, I feel like I don't know how to feel about it because I understand it. Like when I was talking about this with Kate, she was like, well,
it's the age.
Look at her.
That's where it gets weird. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, yeah, it is. I watched Space Jam when I was 5, so I didn't realize that. You know what I mean? I
Right.
didn't realize. Oh yeah, this is overly sexualized or anything like that. But like, same time now that I'm thinking like, yeah, but would I want my 5-year-old watching that? And now I'm kind of like, oh, that's a little weird, dude.
Yeah, it's
Like-
yeah, it's weird. And like, but then you think like, all right, well, these cartoon characters are adults and they do, I don't know, like the whole Pepe Le Pew. There is this whole thing with Pepe Le Pew about Space Jam 2. There's a lot of controversy around Space Jam 2.
Pepe Le Pew has been the butt of jokes since. Oh God, I actually watched last night before I went to bed. I was like, no, I want to watch Dave Chappelle's "Killing 'Em Softly" from, what is that, the 2000s?
Mm-hmm.
And he does a bit about Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah.
And he's like, what?
He's like a
watching
fucking
it with my
rapist.
son. I didn't realize Pepe Le Pew's a fucking rapist.
Yeah.
Come on. See what he does? You gotta take the pussy like Pepe.
But see, the story of Pepe Le Pew is that because he's such a fucking weirdo, like he's obsessed with this other skunk, like his life turns into shit. Like his life crumbles around him. You know what I mean? Like that. I thought that's a good message. It's just a really weird way of portraying that. But when you're a kid and you watch it, you're just like, oh man, this guy really likes this girl. You don't see it as like, holy shit, he's just like, she's trying to fuck this skunk all the time. I don't know. I feel like you don't read cartoons like that when you're a kid. You kind of have to have things a little bit more blunt. You know what I mean? Like, okay, this character has boobs and you can see them sort of because it's a girl character. It's like very blunt in the way that they portray everything. This character's like super macho like Johnny Bravo, or this character's like super geeky like Dexter. Like there's like they have to kind of really push these I guess stereotypes because a kid otherwise wouldn't really pick up on that stuff. And that's where I kind of feel like, all right, well maybe I don't know.
But it's I think too it is harder now with internet. Like the internet, so culture is different too.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is, so I'm just thinking of this now. It is just like weird. When Space Jam came out and I was very young, I just assumed that's how people dressed because also then you would watch music videos and it's Britney Spears wearing 3 pieces of clothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you just like, oh yeah, that's normal.
Go back to the "Oops,
Now
I Did It
we
Again"
don't-
video.
Right. Like, but now we don't have, like, I don't know what's popular. Like,
I don't
there isn't-
either.
Like, there isn't an MTV, you know what I mean? Of just like, this is culturally America. It's very much more fractured.
Yeah.
Is our cultural America? I mean, there's like different divisions of cultural America now. Like, look how we do the Zoomer, Boomer, Gen Z, whatever. Like, people in my work, even like I guess people who are like parents with kids, they'll talk about like TikTok, and I'm like, I have zero idea of anything about TikTok. I don't look at it. I don't know what it is. Honestly, I feel old when I say that. But I know that it's a big influence on culture now.
I mean, it is.
I do
But
love
then, like,
TikTok.
I know a lot about TikTok, and I don't use a TikTok, but Kate does, and we watch it all the time.
Yeah, I love
But
TikTok.
it's like, yeah, like, but it's one of those things where it's like, I just mean like, okay, so like think back then, you would have
Well, like, yeah, like what you were saying, like what's
you would have a
popular right
commercial.
now? What's popular?
Right, you would have a commercial with Britney Spears, or like it would be Super Bowl, and you would see Shakira like on a commercial. You know what I mean?
I know
Like,
exactly what you're saying.
nowadays, you don't have that anymore. Like, it like who's the top 50? It doesn't fucking matter, to be honest.
Yeah.
They're not going to be on a Super Bowl commercial.
Like for
there isn't
instance,
that.
BTS. BTS is massive, huge,
Yeah.
very popular. But I can go to any of my friends and ask them, like, who are not online, and ask them if they know who BTS is. They'll have no fucking idea.
No, yeah.
And that's crazy.
But then they'll bring up some other person that you have
Right.
never heard of.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like
I would say like what was the Super Bowl performance this year? Was it The Weeknd?
it was the weekend.
Yeah.
I have no
But then
idea
I saw a lot
where
of
The
people
Weeknd
who-
came from or who they are or who he is.
Right.
a
Like there's a
guy,
lot of
right?
people who don't know the weekend, and I'm sitting here like, I like the weekend.
yeah.
So,
I just know
but,
that
like,
he got
I'm like,
kicked
I'm
out of the
sitting here-
Grammys. That's all I know.
Fair. Like I'm sitting here like, oh, this is the first musical artist I think I've enjoyed in the Super Bowl in 20 years.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Yeah. No, I completely get
But
it.
at the
Like,
same time, yeah, I also get it because then when you look up people's like reviews, it's like, who the fuck is this?
yeah.
I think part of it does come down to how various media
Yeah.
consumption is.
it's
like,
crazy.
It's not like
That's
back
my
in
point.
like the 2000s and the 90s. Yeah, it was, you had TV was the main thing. The internet was just, I mean, kind of just starting for everybody. But there was really nothing was viral yet. Now you've got multiple social media apps where various people are famous on them. You've got influencers. You've got some TV stuff, like movies. Maybe Marvel movies are like the people who would know the most at this point, like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth. Those are like the people I feel like a lot of people would know, even because like even if they don't watch the Marvel films,
That is
that
one of
whole cultural
Yeah.
phenomenon of superhero movies, you just look at the money. It's a blockbuster, like just epic proportions. They're in the cultural lexicon.
That like yeah, I agree that that would have osmosis to most people. You know what I
Maybe
mean?
Kim
But,
Kardashian
like,
might be the most known at this point because of how
not it
much
like
they're in.
3 years ago, sure. Not anymore. I don't even think is the issue. But
That
that's
in,
what
the
I'm
whole
going with, is, like,
influencers.
Yeah, like,
the
did you
whole
guys know that
influencers
Kim
on
Kardashian's
Instagram is
trying to be
insane.
a lawyer? Like, she's been trying to be a lawyer for like the last couple of
no,
years.
don't care about like. I think that's what like my point though is like in the 90s and early 2000s, everyone would know who PewDiePie is in like the current age. But we don't live in that, like, you know what I mean? We used to live in a world of you are a superstar. And I think now, instead of there being one superstar, there is now
Each platform.
there is 10,000
Stars.
stars.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
each platform has their stars individually. There's only a
Well, like-
few that really cross over.
Anyone who's going to watch Space Jam 2, this is the other thing too. To me, it feels like if you're gonna go watch Space Jam 2, you're watching it because you liked the original Space Jam and you kind of wanna relive that nostalgia. Do kids even fucking know who Lola Bunny is, Bugs Bunny? They don't even play those cartoons anywhere. You can't find them on YouTube. You can.
I would think that kids still know who Bugs Bunny is.
I would reckon the opposite. I do not think so.
I think enough parents like it's. I don't know. They still make like Looney Tunes cartoons.
Do they?
I'm pretty certain they do. They still make Scooby-Doo.
Like new Scooby-Doo, you're saying?
Yeah, they make new Scooby-Doo.
I had no idea. On what channel? Like Nickelodeon?
I want to.
Do people even have
that's the
Nickelodeon
thing,
anymore?
There's so many channels. I don't know
Soon
what these
enough.
things are on.
Yeah, dude, now you just get Paramount Plus. $6 or whatever. There you go.
I mean, this is something that I'm going to be learning quite soon when my daughter becomes a little older. Like what she's... Because, I mean, one of my friends who has a kid, he was saying like, oh, this Guppy show. And the other one is like some like Paw Patrol. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I've never heard of these things. Now, there's Blue's Clues still. They still have Blue's Clues. I just haven't heard of any like Looney Tunes. What is that whole like the WB sort of cartoon thing? I don't even know if they still make them. I don't know if anyone has even heard of them in the last 10 years.
So yeah, Scooby-Doo. 2018 Boomerang announced that a new Scooby-Doo series titled Scooby-Doo and Guess Who would be released in 2019. They had confirmed guest characters of Bill Nye, Mark Hamill, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Ricky Gervais, and
this is on
February,
Boomerang?
This is on, I guess, Boomerang, Cartoon Network Boomerang, because they're owned by the same like Viacom. Velma Spinoff series on February 10th, 2021. It was announced that Velma will have her own series, which will be released on HBO Max and will be adult oriented.
Okay. Well, see, that's like that's what I'm thinking the Space Jam 2 is kind of catering to. Like that, like our
To that
market,
nostalgia?
more than to our market than the younger generation market who are gonna see Lola Bunny. And I don't know. Like, I feel like that's where I guess not. I guess Space Jam 2 is trying to market to new kids and gonna push this Looney Tunes things on them. I think it's gonna be a success. Like, if it follows the same formula as the original, I watched the original so many times. It was like my favorite movie when I was younger.
I still think though kids know Space Jam, and I think that because sure, like if you're talking about syndicated TV shows, that's different. But like, oh, you want to put on a movie for your kid? They haven't changed that much. You know what I mean?
Space Jam is
Like,
so good.
I'm looking at-
there's newer Disney movies. I'm sure they'll watch Moana, but then you're gonna put on Space Jam, and then you're gonna put on Star Wars, and then you're gonna put on,
I like to
the
think
same movies
so.
we watch.
I just
still,
don't
too,
know.
You know what I mean?
I'm like, how
just
many
mean, like,
kids
even-
like don't even watch TV? Like, how many kids are growing up in houses that don't even have TV? That are just
Well, yeah, but
YouTube
that-
or whatever.
That makes a bigger argument that they'll see a movie. Is my point? Like, I agree with you of TV shows being harder, but we're talking about a movie.
True.
Like, I think a lot of the movies they still get circled around. You know what I mean? Especially now that Disney Plus is a thing out and stuff like that. Like, that's how most people I know are doing it. Is they just buy Disney Plus and then are like, all right, we're watching Snow White tonight.
Yeah. Do you guys think Johnny Bravo would ever exist in 2021? That was another one of my favorite cartoons.
So I'm reading the Wikipedia article.
I mean,
for
Johnny Bravo,
Space
yeah.
Jam.
Like, I think you'd have a harder time with like Ren and Stimpy. or like something
Really?
like that. Yeah, but
Ren and
I'm
Stimpy
trying to
was
think
pretty
of
like
what-
racist at times, but that's kind of part of what Ren and Stimpy was.
I don't know. Have you guys seen the I don't know if you watched any cartoons lately. The last cartoons I really watched were like Gravity's Falls, which was really good.
No, never seen it.
I knew a lot of people that really liked. I haven't watched it yet. Steven Universe.
No, never seen it. I know of Steven
Um,
Universe though.
But what I love is the Cartoon Network, like Twitter. They put up PSAs using Steven Universe to discuss like racism,
Oh yeah.
and it was actually really well done.
I don't know that cartoon. I just know the character. Like I know what he looks like. I don't know what it's about though. I don't know.
Cartoons have always kind of had a, at least when I was like when we were younger, like cartoons always had that double entendre. There was the jokes for kids and the jokes for adults.
Yeah.
And then you go back and look at like the new Animaniacs that came out, which was really good. I really enjoyed it. There was plenty of humor aimed at the original audience, but I also argue there was enough humor in there that was easily enjoyable for new kids, for kids that had never watched any Animaniacs before.
Yeah. Well, that's
So-
kind of the mark of like a great cartoon is that it can cater to any audience. Like that's why I'd argue like SpongeBob is one of the greatest cartoons because anyone could watch it at any age and it's funny no matter what. You know, like a lot of the older Boomerang stuff. Like I was a big Tom and Jerry fan, and it's like that's like very age specific. It's just not as funny when you're, in an older age. So it's kind of doesn't have like that timeless value to it. But like, SpongeBob is up there. I mean, there's plenty. And I'm curious, like, what I'm more curious about is like, what are like the cartoons? Because we had like, at least in our era, there were the cartoons, and is that the same
If I'm
now?
gonna
Like,
base it on my Twitter feed,
They're
like
way
the
different
most
now,
I
I
see, there's nothing that's like
Let's look up top
the
10
cartoon anymore.
I
At
mean,
this
we
point, it's
started
like
as SpongeBob, but like I mean,
Right.
there's not a Rocco's, there's not a
right, like,
Yeah.
you don't wake up in the morning and watch Doug. You know what I
right,
mean?
yeah, which is
Yeah,
kind of
sad- I mean,
sad.
that old Saturday morning, like wake up, put on WB. You got the Batman animated series,
You had
you had
Recess.
Jackie
I was a
Chan
big Recess
Adventures,
fan.
Superman, the Superman animated series. You had Static Shock. You had Animaniacs.
There were so
What
many,
else was
man.
there?
There were so many.
Freakazoid. There was just that time of like WB, and then you had like the anime, the 4Kids anime. So you had Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
What else was there? God, freaking.
And then you had all the Nickelodeon ones, and then you had
Yeah.
all the Disney ones.
What was Nickelodeon? Would be like Ah Real Monsters,
Cat Dog,
Cat Dog. You had Rocket Power,
Rocket Power,
Rocco's, Rocco's
Rugrats.
Yep, Rocco.
It was Modern
Rugrats.
Life, which was way more adult than it needed to be.
Oh, it was great
Modern
though.
Life was amazing.
Hey, worked for a
Yes.
sex hotline.
It was,
Yes.
oh, it was
No,
such a good
Rocco's Modern
cartoon.
Life was so
It's
fucking
classic. One of my favorites.
Good.
And then like
I was,
Cartoon
I was a
Network,
Nic-
you
I was a
had.
Nickelodeon kid.
I was a handful of Nickelodeon. I think I enjoyed more of Nickelodeon's live action stuff. Keenan and Kel, all of that. Are You Afraid of the Dark? The Secret Life of Alex Mack.
I watched all. Dude, I watched
Legends
everything.
of the Hidden Temple.
Legends of the Hidden
Guts.
Temple. Yeah.
Dude, the
Double
Aggro
Dare.
Crag. What was the show?
What
Aggro
would
Crag.
you do? That's Guts.
Guts. That's right. What's the
Uh,
guy's name from Guts? Mike O'Malley.
Yeah, Mike O'Malley. And then I can't remember the lady's name.
Mike O'Malley, dude.
But then you had Double Dare, hosted by Mark Summers.
Yeah. Hold on,
That was-
Mike
dude, the game
O'Malley.
shows-
This-
that was the best for like. And then
There he is.
what was the name of the God? It was the one where they had like a panel of 4 people and they had to guess what like the special thing the kid could do was on the board, and they had clues that would like come in front of them on a conveyor belt. I can't remember what the name of the show was. It was a game show.
I don't. Wait, what? Are you talking
Yeah.
about with Summer Sanders? What's her name?
Maybe not
Summer
Summer
Sanders from Summer Sanders was Figure It Out. Are you talking about Figure It Out?
Figure It Out. That was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
So
Figure It Out.
that was like, if I wanted to watch anything live action, it was Nickelodeon. For me, cartoons, Saturdays were WB, weekdays Cartoon Network. Courage the
I mean,
Cowardly Dog, Cow and
that's fair.
Chicken.
I was just
Johnny Bravo.
Cow. I loved Cow. Well, once
I
I
wanna
found
say-
out, once we
Chicken,
got
yeah.
Cartoon Network, I became Cartoon Network guy. I
I
loved
remember
Ed, and
when-
Eddie.
I always had it all, and I thought WB was trash, for being completely honest. And I thought Cartoon Network was fine, but then it would just switch to Powerpuff Girls reruns constantly, and it's just like,
Oh, Powerpuff
Nah,
Girls
dude,
was
I'm gonna
great
watch
too.
That was the thing. Is
I'm
like
gonna watch Ren and Stimpy and Rocco's Modern Life and be a degenerate. Like,
I remember when Cartoon Network first premiered, like right leading up to their, and it's really cool. Like both the Cartoon Network and Toonami, watching both of like the documentaries on how they came about were really interesting. Right before they launched Cartoon Network, like the channel, they were running ads on Nickelodeon for Cartoon Network, which was a bold move
Yeah.
to run it on your competitor before you even launch.
Yeah, I remember Cartoon Network came out, and I remember watching Johnny Bravo and Dexter's Lab and being like, this is the fucking greatest channel ever. It's just awesome cartoons all the time. And then, like, yeah, like the Powerpuff Girls, I thought that was a great cartoon.
And for me,
I think
what
they were all
sealed
good.
what sealed Cartoon Network as the like
And then Adult Swim came on,
Destination.
and then it was like, holy shit, now it's catering towards,
Those-
like,
yeah,
teenager
that was-
era.
That's a way different.
and that was the
but
thing
yeah.
is growing up at that time, it was like being if you were born in 90 essentially, or like in that area, that range of time, you grew up with Cartoon Network being a thing in like when you're 7, 8, 9. Then they introduced Toonami, and you had your anime right after school. And then as
Adult
you
Swim
got
at
to
night.
like 13, like 12, 13, 14, that's when they introduced Adult Swim, and you're
Yeah,
like,
it was fucking
you just
awesome.
grew up with
And then
it.
you had, like, Space
Then all of a
Ghost and all
sudden-
those motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's fucking
Space
then,
Ghost,
Sea Lab.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Tom Goes to the Mayor,
C-Lab 2020, 2021.
Sea Lab 2021,
You're forgetting
Venture Bros.
The greater of the ones, where you have how am I blanking on the name? This is like sad.
Yeah,
What's the fucking the 15-minute random show with action
God.
dolls?
Robot Chicken. You're talking about
Yeah, I
Robot
think it was-
Chicken.
I thought it was
Robot
Robot
Chicken.
Chicken.
Yeah,
but I wanna
Robot
make sure.
Chicken.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah.
Robot
God,
Chicken
Robot Chicken was like the staple of high school.
with Seth Green.
Yeah.
Do they still make Robot Chicken, like new
Dude,
episodes?
and speaking
I don't
of
know.
Action
good
League
question.
now, going back to Nick though, when you were even younger, there you go.
What'd you say?
It's like
I live in the
golden age.
90s.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to have nostalgia for those things. Like,
But no, I will say I'll fight back on you guys. Like, I think Cartoon Network was solid B tier, but Nick was always A tier.
and that's the thing. I don't remember.
I loved
cartoons,
Cartoon Network. I
with
loved
the
it.
exception of like Johnny Bravo. I don't remember those cartoons being highly sexualized. I don't remember Dexter's Lab being highly sexualized, or Ed, and Eddie, or Kids Next Door.
No, they weren't.
They weren't. But
They
I
were more
remember-
weird. They were more like weird. Like
I remember
weird
the
cartoons.
movies. The movies were more so. I mean, I don't know if that's considered a kids film, but Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Look at Jessica Rabbit.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like,
He's the pure definition of sexuality.
yeah, but that's what I mean. It was like,
But is that dedicated? That's
That's not really a kids'
more towards adults.
yeah, that's not really a kids movie. But like, if we go back to that era of cartoons, it was like, it was just it was like it had to have been spelled out differently. Otherwise, I feel like a lot of this stuff just didn't work. That's why Pepe Le Pew, like, you watch it with a more critical eye, and you're like, oh, this is kind of creepy. But
What
you
was
can't do
Space-
that with cartoons back in those days. They were very sort of blunt with everything. You know what I mean? Everything was just like in your face, because that's how they had to sell a lot of the jokes, because they didn't have, I guess, the writing to be a little bit more nuanced with things. It was just more like, you know, fucking
I didn't
blow
know
up Wile E.
Space Jam-
Coyote or something.
Space Jam was not received well by critics either.
I mean, it's a
The
kids
original
movie.
Space Jam was 43% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't.
It's
I think it's one of the
certified
best
rotten.
movies.
That's an interesting one. What was it rated? Was it rated PG? Was it
Yeah, I
rated
think it was
G?
PG. I think
If
it was
it's
a PG.
PG, then I mean, that's interesting.
They felt Lola Rabbit needed to be desexualized, but I mean, my argument was like she wasn't really ever really that sexualized. She was just she was hot. You know, she made Bugs Bunny's jaw drop every time he saw her. That was kind of the reason why I think they made her that way. I never even seen Lola Bunny outside of Space Jam. I've watched a lot of Bugs Bunny. She's not really a character.
She's in the newer ones.
Yeah, she wasn't really a character.
Are we seeing the sexual origins of the kids who grew up to be furries?
Possibly, maybe.
Is that what we're saying? I mean, I don't. I'm not insulting.
I mean,
it is
friends who are
furries.
than that.
You guys agree?
It's more than that though, because I brought this up. I think when we talked about it a little bit, that Hive Mind show, Lola Bunny won by a landslide. The question was asked was like, who is the hottest cartoon character? And Lola Bunny won by like a landslide. It wasn't close.
Who are the other ones on there? I'm trying to even think of
someone
like
from
hot
Teen
cartoon.
Titans.
Oh, I don't know. I don't even.
That's already kind of horrifying.
Kim Possible? Is Kim Possible on there?
I don't think Kim might have been on there, but I think the one
Why
evil
Kim
lady
Possible
from Kim Possible was there.
When easily it's Kim's mom.
Yeah, like I don't think it was Kim Possible, but I think a character from Kim Possible was there.
Kim's mom, probably.
I'm gonna type in hottest cartoon character.
Listen. There's gonna be a debate about cartoon milfs.
Here's a BuzzFeed. Here's a BuzzFeed. 31 cartoon characters who are extremely attractive. You guys ready for this one?
I think you could also have an argument that there wasn't like a weird internet culture about Rule 34 and shit like that too when Space Jam came out.
Fair.
Well, here's number 4, Miss Bellum from Powerpuff Girls. Remember her? You never saw her head?
I'm just saying.
She was just a big pair of tits and ass. That's all she was.
There's lewd art the minute any character is revealed in any form of medium these days.
Oh,
in 5 minutes.
I mean, there's lewd art of anything ever.
When they announced Pokemon Sword and Shield, and they were like, "Here's your gym leaders," and everyone saw what's her name, Nisa, the water gym leader. There was lewd art in 5 minutes on Twitter.
Yeah.
Artists work fast.
This is odd. All right. Anyways, Lola Bunny's been desexualized, so there you go. We've got our answer.
This movie's probably gonna flop.
I don't think so, dude.
I have no interest in seeing it.
I do. I love the original. I want to see how they do.
Is it coming to HBO Max or is it theaters only?
I believe HBO until next year. Everything's coming to HBO until next year.
Then I'll watch it on HBO Max. But if I was having to pay to go to see it in the theater, I wouldn't go.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's just more comparisons of, LeBron is doing the same thing Michael Jordan did.
Yeah. He is the new Michael, though, so it makes sense. I'm just more curious to see how they handle, what's his name? The guy,
Well, apparently Speedy Gonzalez is being voiced by Gabriel Iglesias. I don't know when that happened.
Oh, Bill Murray. I want to see how they handle Bill Murray.
Is he in it?
Yeah. Yes, Bill Murray is in Space Jam.
In the new one?
No, he's in the old one.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he's coming back to the new one.
Oh, really? Is that proven?
I don't see why he would.
They need to figure it out. They need the Space Jam teammate.
I think they'll probably do that with like...
Bill Murray was never invited to Michael Jordan. Wait, this is not.
Okay, LeBron James is himself. Don Cheadle's the villain as AIG Rhythm, an evil computer algorithm. Chris Davis, I don't know who that is. Cedric Joe. There's a cast. There's Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard, Chris Paul, Draymond Green, Kyle Kuzma. Then you've got from WNBA, Diana Taurasi, Nika Ogwimike, and Shiny Ogwimike. Okay, so they're sisters.
This article says Bill Murray's addition to Space Jam was a last-minute addition to the... They probably were like, wait, we can get Bill Murray. Let's just figure out a way to add him to the movie because he's Bill Murray. All right, I guess they're not... I don't know. I don't see any reason why they would cut him from the new one. Other than it just being a different movie, I guess.
It's just a different movie.
Yeah. They gotta bring him
It's
back.
not like I mean,
They
he
bring
had
him
one
back
role
from
in
the
it.
dead or something. All right. Are you guys buying any NFTs recently?
Hell no. By the way, okay,
No,
so here was your
absolutely
list
not.
of the top 6.
Top 6 hottest
Shigo,
cartoons?
Shigo, Jessica Rabbit, Misty, Kim Possible, Raven, Lola Bunny.
There's something.
I would go Kim Possible because she's,
wrong.
for one, a human.
Misty. She's like 8.
Okay, the question was, who is your childhood?
Childhood.
Okay. That makes a little bit better.
How old are
'Cause if you got
Pokemon? How old
30-year-olds
are the
going, Yeah,
Pokemon?
Misty's hot.
Well, how old are they?
Weird.
Every single person in the Pokemon universe is 10 years old.
Is that how it goes?
I think Ash has been 10 for about 30 years now.
He's actually
Yes.
10 in the show?
I mean, the main characters, every single one of the main characters is a 10-year-old.
Okay.
Even Brock, who looks like he's 20, is 10.
Yeah, I always thought they were like late teens, early 20s.
No, that's the whole entire plot of the game is you start this adventure when you turn 10.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They're all 10-year-olds.
You're right. They're 10. Misty. How old is Kim Possible? That's the question. I don't think Lola. I don't know. I'm not a Lola Bunny stan, so that's not who I'm voting for. Jessica Rabbit, too gaudy. Too much. That was like a gaudy 80s era. All right. Well, anyways, NFT market, non-fungible tokens. So if you guys know who Beeple is, he's like a CG artist. He does like a new CG piece every day. Well, he sold this large thing with all of his everyday pictures posted on it. And it's, I think it was Sotheby's. I don't know. Oh, it was at Christie's. Sold at Christie's for $69 million for his digital piece here called Everyday. Let me see if I can find the actual listing at Christie's, which would be cool. Yeah, here it is. So here's the listing at Christie's. Now I think NFTs are actually really cool. It's nothing different than Pokemon cards or collecting Beanie Babies or anything like that. It's essentially just collector's pieces. But they're starting to make their way into the digital world, which makes a lot of sense. I think one thing that really needs to be figured out with this, people like to collect things because they like to show them off, right? You want to show off your collection. There needs to be like a NFT, I think, like a NFT sort of like display site or something where you can actually kind of have like, you know, NFTs being displayed or put on like in shows or something. That way people can show off their collections. Otherwise, I feel like the market will kind of fizzle out. The way that they're doing it now is just from the marketplace itself, but I don't think that has any merit. I think there needs to be like an actual, I think this is a really interesting way to kind of bring art collecting into the digital world, because it makes sense. So, but now, like, I think H3H3 sold like their Vape Nation video. I don't know if it got bought or anything. Let's find out.
I don't understand why. And what I mean by that is,
You don't understand why people would buy it?
no, I don't understand why NFT is a thing. And what I mean by that is, it's another example to me of like why I think, if you want my honest opinion, 95 to 99% of anything regarding blockchain is actually completely fucking useless. And it's just another thing there of just like, why? Like, why? You can just make a piece of art and sign a contract and you're done. And that person has it exclusive. Like, why is it now like, well, we had to make a blockchain thing for this too, dude.
Yeah, that's actually a good question, is why they're using blockchain technology to implement this. And I think mainly because it's the translation of it is just a lot easier to do it. So you just pay whatever, like wherever country you're in, you want to just pay the money to buy into this token, and then you can buy it with your token. That's kind of valid. I think that's a valid criticism. But I do think it's cool that, like, yeah, you can now, like, people are going to start selling this stuff. Like, I think Jack from Twitter is selling, like, his first tweet, or, like, the first tweet ever. And, like, there's some pretty interesting ways you can kind of take this. It's just a cool way, I think, of how we're going to start collecting digital content. Does it, like, you know, there's an argument of, like, does it not having some sort of, like, tangible asset matter? Well, we're starting to see that kind of being eroded anyway with cryptocurrency. It just seems like no one really actually cares about having something in their hand. It's more so the ownership of it. But here, like the Vape Nation video, I think that would be cool to own, especially if you're like a vaping company and you know, who knows how expensive, like who knows how much someone will bid on this in like, 10,
But
20 years.
The thing too is like, I think that's another thing is you own the rights to it. You don't actually own it.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important distinction just because it's like
you own like the original
literally-
copy of it.
Yeah, but you don't own the
nothing
copyright
here.
to it.
Right. There's nothing stopping here for my personal use of just I'm gonna screenshot this website.
Exactly.
I own a screenshot of it now.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking thing.
So
the rights is the important part.
I saw this I saw this earlier. I had no idea what was going on, so I looked it up. The carbon footprint of NFTs.
Oh, the carbon footprint of it is fucking huge, actually.
Yeah, it's actually really bad.
Well, that's all cryptocurrency. It's fucking massive. I mean, it's a huge problem with cryptocurrency. It's just the energy output is
and now
gigantic.
you're going for this, which I just seems for
Like the
lack of a better word,
the
it kind of seems stupid.
Yeah, like well, I mean, I think you can have that argument too of like if I make a full piece of art, it literally hurts the environment less for me to make a large scale printing of it for you and send it to you. That is better for the environment than me sending it through again a useless blockchain.
Yeah, but see now, but you're missing the kind of reason I think why a lot of them want to use the blockchain is just because they're not traced to them. There is no address.
You are
involved.
correct that I will never understand the idea of a lot of the uses of blockchain because it's so inefficient. It's actually so fucking dumb to me.
Yeah.
So you're right. I won't understand.
Well, you have to have. I mean, that's the big sacrifice is like the energy output. That's the biggest problem in
it's the energy
cryptocurrency.
output. It's the time output. It's just like I still don't believe in the idea of Bitcoin, where it's like, yeah, dude, it's a physical currency that takes me 3 weeks to even get.
Digital.
Hell yeah, dude.
Digital.
Am I
currency.
crazy here? It just feels like
It
another
still takes
way
me 3
for
weeks to fucking get it processed to my bank account,
This
dude.
just
Like,
feels
why
like
does this
another
matter?
way. It just feels like another way for people with exorbitant amount of money.
It takes 10 minutes
to spend said money.
I know I'm being facetious,
because they can.
but like it's not instant. Is my point.
I mean, it's not instant to
instant.
transfer money from one bank to another. It's still that takes longer than a Bitcoin transaction.
Right, but it can never be. It's a bond. You know what I mean? If you label it as a bond, I think you can have more of an argument there. But the idea of it being an actual currency, no, I can't sit at a store and be like, yeah, dude, I gotta wait 10 minutes for my credit card to go through.
For sure. I mean, there's definitely. Yeah, for sure. There's and then when that's not even like, I think Bitcoin is like the worst example to kind of bring of that. It's more of like this coin, whatever coin they're using for fucking OpenSea, which is like, I don't even know what it is. It's some form of Ethereum, some fork of Ethereum.
Right, but that's where like 90% of them have gone to, which to me is like, it's just not a good use of the idea of blockchain. I think blockchain has valid uses, but in practice, so far, 90% of the way people have used it is like, this is garbage.
Most of the way they're using it is in this sort of way, which is some way of storing value, which is why I think it's interesting that they're now kind of moving into art collecting, digital art collecting. I just never, because there was Crypto Kitties, which was like, I think the first like blockchain NFT thing, and like there's like they're just pictures of cats, but the idea is basically like this cat is worth this much and I can store my value in this and it's not traceable and it's through this weird non-fungible fucking token system with a blockchain that you just can't get unless you go through 6 different avenues. It's just a very odd way of storing value. But it seems to be, I mean, it just doesn't stop. Like Bitcoin is still fucking going up. And I think we're going to see $100,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. It seems like this is the way that everything is kind of moving. It's just this weird sort of convoluted currency system that's based upon this algorithm that could be broken anytime quantum computing actually starts to take hold. You know what I mean? Like once that starts to happen, like where do we go from next? You can't have a system that's based on this encryption once that encryption is cracked. So it's going to get interesting, but I do like the idea of digital art collecting. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know necessarily what I'd spend like real money on. I mean, I guess a Beeple would be cool, like an original Beeple, but that's about it. I'm not exactly sure. And I think actually there was another cool one from Sotheby's, but I don't remember what it was. Just sucks you can't display it. Like if I were to get this, I'd want to put it on a wall or something. I don't know how you're supposed to display this art. They need to figure that problem out. Other than, hey, here's a picture on my Instagram or something. All right.
Yeah. No, like I agree. That's where I think that's why I don't completely understand it, because of like, again, you're dealing with the idea of selling rights, and I don't think you can just have like a default contract for selling rights. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like there needs to be a way.
It is too personalized of a level for it to just be like, here's a catch-all contract and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there needs to be like well, the way that they're kind of doing the rights thing is through the transaction. So you can see here with the Beeple, like they show the wallet address and the wallet transaction. Like it went from here to there. So that's kind of how they're doing the rights system, which is kind of
Right, but
fascinating.
then how do you protect those rights? How does that stand up in the court of law?
I mean, I guess that I'm not exactly sure. I guess that this work being passed through this address is like the only valid transaction of this work. You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah,
any
like
other
that's
transaction
this-
of it wouldn't work.
Right, but I mean, it's that same kind of weird thing of just like,
Because you're right. Because I could take a
all right,
screenshot of
we're
it right now.
anonymously selling rights that you're gonna have to, if you want to keep, you have to challenge in law anonymously. Like,
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is like how they're gonna display it. I don't know how there's gonna have to be a way where they like check like, okay, this is the actual piece of art that was sold, and it's gonna be weird.
It's the fact that they're all doing like different mediums too. You know what I mean? Like, all right, so
Some
I
are
have Jack's
videos,
tweet.
some are yeah.
What do I do with that? Like, okay, so I buy the vape video. Like, what can I do with that? Am I allowed to use it as my company? Am I allowed to just watch it myself?
Right.
Do I get the revenue from the original posting? Like, what did I buy?
Yeah.
And that's where I'm saying where it's like,
The tweet is a good example. Like, how
Yeah.
exactly does that? What exactly do you own? What exactly can you display? Or yeah, it's
right.
pretty interesting. Maybe the underlying code behind it or something. I'm not exactly sure.
Well, I don't think you can even do it that way, because that's not. I mean, that is Jack's property by proxy that he owns Twitter, but that's Twitter's property, like the actual code base. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
That's not his to sell. Like,
Yeah.
so like that, yeah, that's where I don't get, like, especially with the idea of like, okay, if it's an art piece, I mean, if it's a digital drawing,
Right.
that is the easiest thing to do, where I think you could have that. But once it starts, especially getting into videos, like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, can I use it for marketing purposes? Can I put it on my website? Like, what am I allowed to do with this? And there
Yeah.
not anything saying what to do with that. And that's where I'm just like, well, I'd rather just sign a contract and know what
You rather have the physical
do.
file, right? You'd rather have the original.
Yeah,
like if someone sent you like an SD
Well,
card with the file on
and
it.
it's not even so much that, it's just the like, it's even just, I want to have that rule set of what did I buy? What am I allowed to do with that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Welcome to the all digital future.
Yeah, these are problems that they're gonna have to figure out. It's gonna be fascinating. I think it's really cool. There's nothing that I would really. I mean, the Beeple's cool, but it's crazy. Someone spent almost $70 million on that. That's fucking massive. That's insane. It's probably some fucking Bitcoin billionaire or something that bought it.
I mean, yeah, like that makes more sense to me. Like if it's just
Yeah, that's a simple idea.
Right. That where I.
But
can
like
see
the
it making
tweet,
sense
how
if
do
it's
you
just art.
how do you own the tweet? You know, like how do they transfer the rights for that tweet? And what does it mean when Twitter doesn't host or something? You know what I mean? Like, how does that happen if Twitter's not hosting it anymore? I don't know. They'll figure it out. They're always fucking doing some wacko shit in the crypto world.
And I mean that's again going back to the video. I mean, I think that's an argument too of like, okay, so do you own the file now, or do you own the video uploaded to YouTube until YouTube decides to ban Ethan?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think he
Like,
has the actual file that he's selling. I think that for that specific one, but that's a good question.
Right,
Like,
but like we are talking in an age of like, yeah, dude, any of us could get banned off of anything for doing something wrong at any point. You know what I mean? Like, if I upload a video to YouTube, I'm also technically signing rights away of that video to YouTube to host it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, I don't know. That is interesting.
Yeah, it's there's. I mean, like some of these are so stupid too. Like it's getting a little wacky in this market, but I don't know. I love this type of stuff. I love any sort of
Yeah, I think
infusion of art and digital. It's always an interesting question to answer.
I think it's an interesting idea. I just don't. I think could very easily be abused because I don't think any of this could ever hold up into law, basically. Like, and you're talking about selling rights where that's just not a fun situation.
Okay. Twitch may be adding a brand safety score for streamers. Cybersecurity research Dalem Tiari found evidence of the change somewhere in Twitch's internal API. Cybersecurity researcher found site plans to implement something called a brand safety score for streamers. That score would depend on a number of criteria: the streamer's age, a rating given by Twitch staff, their ban history, the relationship the streamer has with Twitch, their auto mod settings, their partnership status, the ESRB rating of the game being played, and whether the stream is set to mature. And then here is the tweet from Dylan. Twitch has added an automatic brand safety score, which grades how brand friendly every streamer is based on things like chat behavior, ban history, manual ratings by Twitch staff, games played, age, automata, and more. And then here's like the code that they have here, which is pretty
manual
interesting.
ratings by Twitch staff.
Well, that's what I wanted to get into.
That works real well for their bans.
That's what I wanted to kind of get into. I was like, what does that mean? Turning into the CCP over there.
The labia spreading lady, very brand safe.
Yeah, this is
It's for
okay. So I get them
advertising.
needing, yeah. I mean, I get them needing some sort of like brand safety score. I guess like that's not too controversial.
I mean, part of it's also so like you're not like a family-friendly stream isn't getting hit with condom Trojan ads.
Right.
I get that.
Well, also,
I would love to be.
I mean, I don't think they even really care about that. It's
also
really
the
just them
vice
saying like
versa.
this guy can be advertised, like this guy's brand safe. So if you want us to advertise, you can advertise on him. I don't really think they're caring about like
I would love to have a
protecting.
zero
like-
score, so I don't have to have any ads. That'd be great.
Yeah. I mean, there's the flip side there, you know, of like, you know, it's that, but then it's the flip side of, well, you got Tim the Tap Man, who's a great streamer, but literally has alcohol sponsorships. Do you want Space Jam advertised on his channel?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I do get it to an extent, but I also don't. Manual is where that gets weird.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I kind of wanted to talk about. Is like where that kind of comes into play because we can see that Twitch it's a pretty political platform. I wouldn't say political as in like they push politics, but
But the
There's a
politics
political
of Twitch are
presence.
very weird.
yeah, there's
And what I mean by
definitely a left wing
you-
bias on Twitch. I would say almost it's mainly
if
a
you go
left
into
wing
that
platform.
type of politics, yes, but I just mean like the politics inside Twitch. Like if you talk to people who have been banned, their rep won't even know why they're banned.
Sure, yeah, that too, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there is a weird level of politics in the company.
Yeah.
That I'm not talking about left versus right, you know what I mean? But of just like the divisions don't necessarily talk to each other on a level you would expect.
Yeah.
Where there is a shadow government, so to say, you know what I
No,
mean?
absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, like I mean, did we ever get clarification on why Dr. Disrespect was banned?
No.
Didn't something come out recently about it?
I didn't see anything.
I thought I saw something like 2
I just
days
know he's
ago.
back.
People
I
are
think he's
think-
on YouTube
people-
now, right?
Yes, people are thinking that he knew Mixer was going
Zack
to...
Snyder's
Oh, I'm
Justice
sorry,
League
guys.
leaks on HBO.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
People are speculating that he knew Mixer was going to get disbanded, but then was still using money estimates from Mixer in his negotiation with Twitch contracts. That's who fucking knows.
Mm-hmm.
So like he was misrepresenting what other companies would pay him when they were gonna go under anyway.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
But, like, who fucking knows, honestly?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. We don't
Or
know.
that's
Yeah.
pure speculation. I have no fucking idea.
Yeah,
if
no
that's
one knows
true or
other
not.
than
I don't
Twitch
feel
themselves.
Bad, actually, now that I said that, spreading any type of rumor like that. But like,
Yeah, completely unfounded. Only Twitch knows. Only Twitch will know. It doesn't seem like they have any interest in expressing what that reason was. But I mean, it's a big factor when you're thinking about making a career on Twitch, and that's something you have to think about. Is like Twitch, for whatever reason they want, can remove you, or they'll rate you some weird sort of like score, brand safety score, and now. You can't get those juicy ads. You can only get those fucking weird like mattress ads or whatever.
And a lot of that is unless Twitch starts giving you money. That's why a lot of people are trying to push towards Twitch's partnership rules changing so people can do multi-streaming more often.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a lot
easier.
bigger. Yeah, because YouTube's monetization is way better than Twitch's, just hands down. It's much
their
more
guideline
clear.
for partner, even to get partnered on Twitch, like it's 75 viewer average. I have known people that have had 150 viewer average, and it's a manual process, and they've been denied 3 times.
Yeah, it's just it's at a whim. But not only that, it's like just the way that YouTube handles monetization is just far superior. They know what they're doing when it comes to like, this is how we make money on our platform. Where Twitch, they don't really know. They don't know how to make money on their platform, or like the most efficient way to make money on their platform. Is it selling Twitch Prime? Is it selling this?
Twitch as a company, when compared to Amazon, it's pretty much losing them money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is. It is.
Yeah,
not almost.
It's
it is.
not it's not a profitable business at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder, do you think we'll see Twitch in the next 5 years? Given the state of Amazon today?
I mean, if they were to get rid of it, somebody's going to step up, I would imagine.
It'll probably just be YouTube, to be honest. I mean, no one wants to use another video platform. That's just as sad as it is.
Well,
we all have issues with YouTube and Twitch, but no one is going to use any other video platform as long as those two are around.
Yeah,
but also, especially since, so you've seen people like Ray and Courage and like a lot of the 100 Thieves people and stuff like that. They have been working with YouTube for like a year now, where more of those features that YouTube massively lacks, they are working on. And that also makes that scary because YouTube makes money.
Right.
They're not going to go away, and everyone goes to YouTube.
YouTube makes a lot of money. Yeah.
But like they're
working
on those things of like right now they're working on hosting. They're working on hosting, and they're working on
like I can host someone
clips. Right. So you can be able to do raids, but they're also working on clips. Clips are coming to YouTube very soon.
Yeah, I think they added it. They added like a beta.
Imagine the world where Google did.
And then if they can
Twitch.
do a directory.
Google doesn't need to buy Twitch though.
It would be
before Amazon bought them. It was either going to be YouTube, like it was going to either be Google or Amazon buying Twitch. There was a world in which that could have happened.
I think it would be in their best interest if they did do that at that time, because
just pull it as an Apple of just here's a technology acquire, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think people like to use Twitch. Like, say they were exactly the same, I still think people would rather use a Twitch because that's something that, a lot of people kind of just use, and they like to go to Twitch for live streams of like gaming and stuff. And I think it's just better than a YouTube gaming, even if they were the exact same service. But now it's kind of...
That's where I think they're growing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think now they're in their best interest to just stick with their live platform and just make it as close as possible to Twitch. And just people who like Twitch are just going to stay there. It doesn't seem like they're ever going to move over to YouTube unless Twitch, really fucked up, which...
But I think some of them will slowly, and it depends on... The problem is someone's not going to move over there unless their big favorite streamer moves over there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, they're not. But
they like the chat is a big thing too. Like YouTube chat's trash, so bad.
Yeah, it's a lot worse.
Twitch chat's way better. Worse. Yeah.
But like those are things like if they actually fix that, I think you could see more people going to YouTube. Because
Me
I
too. Yeah.
saw they were talking about it a couple of days ago, but like it is interesting of just like, okay, so Courage, he switched to YouTube last year, right? He was when he moved, he was like the 23rd biggest streamer on Twitch, and now on YouTube he's like 10,327 or something like that.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy. Then yeah. All right. Well, Twitch. Yeah, I'm curious to know because Twitch is also a big liability for Amazon. We'll see. We'll see where this is going. And then
It's an interesting idea if YouTube can fix their shit. Like you're gonna people are gonna switch to it because you can infinitely grow on it more than you could ever on Twitch.
yeah, for sure.
That's an idea.
For sure. Microsoft closed its $7.5 billion Bethesda acquisition, aiming to take on Sony with exclusive games. Microsoft has closed its $7.5 billion acquisition of ZeniMax, the parent company of Bethesda. Microsoft confirmed that some new Bethesda games would be exclusive to Xbox consoles and PCs. The firm has been seen as lagging behind Sony when it comes to major first-party releases. I do want to state that I told everyone that they would definitely be making their biggest titles exclusive. It wouldn't make sense if they didn't. 7.5 billion, ZeniMax. What was the thing you were talking about, Doobie? How they're doing this? They're saying just any platform that doesn't have Games Pass.
If it doesn't have Games Pass, it ain't coming to it.
Yeah. So essentially, it could be on Sony if Sony implemented Games Pass, right? That's kind of the idea behind that.
Microsoft would be getting their cut from that. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm curious to know, even if Sony did implement that, would Sony also take a cut from that? How would that work? Would they increase the price on a PlayStation? I don't know.
But
I don't know.
also
I don't think Sony would do
imagine-
it. I definitely don't think
they
Sony would
would
do
either.
it. They're too.
But imagine this future where you cannot play Elder Scrolls 6 on PlayStation 5, but Microsoft and Apple finally work together and you can play Elder Scrolls 6 on your iPhone.
I'd be so down, dude. I'd be down. You know,
There's a weird potential there.
only on your
honestly.
Xbox or your iPhone. So yeah, this is all right. What are big
Because, I mean, in
Bethesda
theory,
titles?
Once
Bethesda
Game Pass is done, it's going to
owns-
work on every Android phone. So you'll be able to play it on your Android phone and not a PlayStation.
Yeah.
And this is not for games that are already announced to be coming to PlayStation. So Deathloop will still come to Sony.
Yeah.
I think Ghostwire Tokyo, I think that was a multiplat title, is still coming to multiplat. But it's any games in the future that haven't been announced for multiplat yet.
Yeah.
So your Elder Scrolls 6,
Yeah. That's a big
your
one.
future Fallout games,
Yeah.
your future Doom games, your future
Wolfenstein, Prey.
Wolfenstein, Prey, those kinds
Rage.
of games.
That's about it. I think.
Pretty much. Dishonored.
Dishonored. Yeah.
The Evil Within, if they make more of those games.
Yeah. Yeah,
What
but
is
the big
Bethesda?
ones are Elder Scrolls and Fallout and Doom. Those would be
Bethesda Game Studios. Starfield. Nobody knows what Starfield is yet.
Oh right,
so-
Starfield. Yeah. Yeah, so those would be pretty much exclusive to PC also. So that's a huge market right now. And Xbox, which is good for Xbox. Like it's good for Microsoft. Like they have to do this if they want to remain competitive on the console front. You have to have, for some reason, just exclusives are what people care about. They don't care about the tech. They just want the games. You got to have the games.
Just the tech's mostly the same.
Yeah,
at this
exactly.
Point, honestly.
Exactly.
But
Yeah, so what
that's a much better platform than they had the last generation of like, okay, let's pretend Halo actually fixes their shit and makes a good Halo game. And now you have a Halo and you have Elder Scrolls and stuff like that. Actually, that's much more compelling than just like
Halo.
a shitty Halo game and you have Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
through
Spider-Man.
this deal, just by virtue of owning ZeniMax, they own Bethesda, but they also own Arcane Studios, Alpha Dog Games, id Software, Machine Games, Roundhouse Studios, Tango Gameworks, and ZeniMax Online Studios.
Okay, so like the Injustice
Elder Scrolls
games, right?
Online.
That's id. Is that id? No.
No, that would be NetherRealm.
Right.
That is Mortal Kombat.
Right.
So that's NetherRealm Studios.
Who's under id?
id would be...
I thought Mortal
Same,
Kombat
same.
was an id game. No, I'm wrong.
No.
No, that's just Doom.
Wolfenstein, Doom, Quake, and Rage.
Yeah, just the Doom. Yeah. Okay. And then you said
That's-
Tango?
Yes, let me see. Tango Gameworks, Tango Gameworks.
That's the
They
Evil Within.
make the Evil Within and Ghostwire.
Okay. Yeah, I mean they're getting they're getting that whole. Is ZeniMax a public company?
And Machine Games also worked on Wolfenstein in 2014. They've also worked on...
Yeah, essentially
New
you're still
Order,
getting it's still Doom, Fallout, Elder Scrolls. Those are the big ones.
Jeez, they did a bunch
On
of
Games
Wolfenstein.
Pass, and they're going to be on Games Pass, so that's something to think about as well, man. Games Pass is gearing out to be pretty fucking dope. As dope it is already. Wasn't it confirmed EA games are going to be on Games Pass also?
Yeah.
Yeah, Arcane.
I
is
think
the
you have to
company
pay
behind-
extra for it, but you can combine EA Play and Games Pass, I'm pretty sure now.
Yeah.
Arcane is behind the Prey and Dishonored games. That's Arcane Studios.
I mean, that's a much bigger library than shitty
And
Halo. game.
ZeniMax Online is the company that developed The Elder Scrolls Online, as well as Fallout 76. Ugh. And that Commander Keen mobile game. Oh no! Thought that thing got canceled.
So EA Play does actually come with a Games Pass subscription.
Currently, okay, so
Oh,
the
currently,
way
yes,
it works-
currently.
It works that way, but then you don't get the new games yet, but that might come in the future as a
As like
either
an upgrade
add-on
pack?
or or like that's planned for the future, because right now like you can't get NHL 21, you get NHL 20. You don't get Madden 21, you get Madden 20.
Okay, right.
Like, you know what I mean? But in the future, it might be like, no, you get the game as it comes out.
Yeah.
But it's not currently yet. You're still getting last generation of sports games, at least.
Yeah, I mean, if they keep dumping shit into Games Pass, it's gonna be pretty fucking legit. Pretty legit. Sony's gonna have to figure out some way to answer to that. I mean, I guess they don't have to. Sony really doesn't have to do anything. If we really think about it, I mean, they really don't. I mean, their PS5s are still flying off the shelves. You can't get them, even though you can't get anything.
Wonder how much Microsoft's gonna get for the sales of games like Deathloop and Ghostwire on PS5.
Yeah, probably not much for them to consider worthy, I would imagine. You know what I mean?
They're contractually obligated to release those games, so
They're gonna get some money. I mean, they're gonna get some money on it, but
I mean, it's whatever cut Bethesda, I guess, was gonna.
I'm
get
sure they'd
is
much
now
rather
on
it just be
Microsoft.
on Xbox, to be honest. Yeah, I'm sure they rather whatever percentage they don't sell. They would much rather it just being on Xbox.
Yeah, putting those games on Games Pass alone, for a game like Deathloop, which honestly, I don't know if I'd buy it, but if it was on Games Pass, I'd be like, hey, I'll try it.
Well, that's why Games Pass rocks.
Exactly.
That's why Games Pass rocks. There's so many games like that just
you can
pop
take
up.
so many risks with Games Pass.
I have
'cause you
my
can just
Xbox
try
Games Pass. I turn my computer on, it pops up, and every other week or so, it shows me, oh, there's this new game, and it's usually like a game that I was thinking about checking out. I just didn't really feel like buying it, and if it just comes with Games Pass, I play it. I'm like, wow, this was fucking awesome. Like, so many games are like that, and like they just keep adding on like indie titles, and it's really cool.
I will say there's a lot that I wouldn't ever buy, but most of them I would never actually ever buy, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
there's
that's
enough-
why I think it's awesome.
But
That's why it's
now
pretty cool.
and then there's because I'll admit I actually rarely play Games Pass. I play it now and then, but like not enough to justify it, except for the fact that they put out that one game that you would buy. You know what I mean? Like they do at least have like 2 games I definitely would buy that covers the price.
Yeah.
And then everything else is sure I'll play with this for like an hour and then probably never touch it again.
Yeah. Yeah, right now all of the Bethesda stuff is up on there, which is pretty
Yeah, it all just
cool.
got dumped, which hey, maybe I'll finally play some of it now, but
Yeah, maybe I'll check
not.
out Dishonored. Like I have no interest in ever playing that game, but it's on there. I'll check it out. There was a lot of
Maybe I'll
indie
try Prey,
titles
maybe.
that were like that for me on Games Pass. Whereas like spend $15 on this game, or I was just like, I'll pass. But when it pops up on there, just quick download and then it runs it. What they do need to do is like optimize it a little bit better, because sometimes these games just aren't they don't run the best when you compare them to any other platform. But all right,
I forgot to mention this. I'm gonna drop this into the Discord.
yeah.
The
Capcom.
thing though that does suck about Games Pass, and it depends on the game, like they need to work out getting DLC.
Yeah.
Because like that does kind of suck sometimes, where it's like, oh, I really like this game and I am gonna actually play all the way through it, but then I'm still gonna have to buy it because now I want to play the DLC,
Yeah.
or I have to buy the DLC.
Yeah, that would.
I wish there was a way to, and I get
Even
why
if it
they
was
don't
like a
do that, you know what I
discount.
mean? But like, yeah, like I think you get a small discount through them, but like, I've never done it, so I don't know if it.
I'd never
Do
done
I still
DLC
have to
either.
buy the game? You know what I mean, through them, or do I just have to only if I just buy the DLC? Will that work?
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
never tried that either. Yeah, that makes sense. Mods too. I don't know how modding works or anything like that.
Well, yeah, like that's like the
Like
thing that,
Starbound,
okay,
I got Starbound. I was playing Starbound on Games Pass and I liked it, but I wanted to try some of the mods. I had to get it on Steam because I knew the
yeah,
modding stuff worked with Steam, but not on Games Pass.
like yeah, Fallout 4 is out on Games Pass now. Like, fuck no, dude, I need 37 mods to play Fallout 4.
Yeah, I wonder how that
Like,
works. Yeah, that's a good
so I mean,
question.
there's definitely some cool things there, but there's definitely some games where it's like, hell yeah, this is a great way to try it, but if you actually like it, you should probably still buy it.
It says you can enable mods with Games Pass. I don't know. Maybe you have to just
But
figure out how to
how?
set it up.
I mean, I think with Fallout 4, you probably could if you're using only Nexus mods, that you could probably work. But it would
Oh,
still
it
just
has
be
to say
annoying.
this game supports mods. Let's see. Let's look up Fallout 4 and see if it says that. Let me just double check here. Fallout 4. It doesn't say that on here.
Yeah, if you
And
gotta
it's got a
have mods for Fallout
2.5.
4.
It crashes after 30 minutes is the first review. Oh, it does. It does say this game supports mods. So you can get mods on Fallout 4.
Okay.
I don't know how to
Cool.
set it up. I'm
It's
sure
just-
there's a way to do it, but
Like, is it? Yeah, you gotta have a mod library for Fallout 4 because half the fun of that game is base building, and you need all the additions mods add to that.
yeah.
Like trying to do Fallout 4 without like precise movement and stuff like that, of just being able to place anywhere, things like that. I can't do it, dude.
So it says here on their website, there's like a mod folder that you can just open from the window, and then I guess you just drop the mods into it that way. And then it says you can use mod managers. So you can do it for some games. You can do it for Fallout also.
You can, but it's still that still is kind of a mess though, because like I said, you can get most of the good stuff which is on the Nexus for like Fallout and Bethesda games, but like what about if I really like this one Steam mod? How do
Yeah.
I get that?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you would just have
How
to.
do I get a Steam Workshop mod? You know what I mean? Like
I mean, I
don't
think it's a
you
good
can.
compromise if you can. Don't have to pay for the game, honestly, or
Oh,
don't have
true.
to
No, I'm
buy
not
it.
disagreeing with that, but
Yeah.
I do. There's definitely some of those games where I'd buy them anyway. You know what I mean? Just for ease of use of just like, yeah, it's Fallout 4. Yeah, dude, I want every mod.
Yeah. Capcom allegedly forced staff to work on site, ignoring Japan's COVID rules. Oh boy. Global pandemic going on in the West, but no longer, but even longer in many parts of Asia where the virus was first discovered. Like many countries, Japan, home to a number of high-profile game studios and publishers, asked workers to stay home or at least limit the number of people in the office. However, reports have emerged that Resident Evil and Monster Hunter developer Capcom, headquartered in Osaka, has been allegedly forcing its employees to work on site and refuse to give time off if they catch the virus. These reports come from a whistleblower speaking to Japan's Business Journal and were reported by Kotaku's Brian Ashcraft. Wow.
I linked the Kotaku article because there's an update with a response from Capcom in there.
Okay, let's check it out. All right, well, let's look at what's the claims here. What are the exact claims? How are they forcing these employees? Detail the actual conditions for the game developers that the company. The publication adds that while the complaints are not a clear violation of the country's Labor Standards Act, they do illustrate questionable practices within the Japanese game industry. Okay, they talk about this cyber attack. We're abandoning the remote network for the time being. It was decided there was no choice but to come to work. All this is said to cause anxiety and uneasiness with the company. Okay, so I guess because of this cyber attack, they didn't want people to work from remotely?
Because of, it wasn't, what do you call it? They were probably more vulnerable.
Right. Ooh, that's kind of tough. How did they deal with that? Interesting. Capcom replied to these claims stating that the company does take health and safety of the staff seriously. Furthermore, it added that work hours had been staggered and telecommuting was implemented. At the office, masks are required and social distance enforced. Employees also have their temperature checked when they enter. Okay, well, that's pretty good. Business Journal indicated there could be larger corporate culture issues at hand. Concerns over security exist throughout the game industry, even when companies aren't in the process of dealing with recent cyber attacks. All right, so here is the update. While there are none currently active within the company, employees are free to form labor unions. Capcom strictly observes all relevant laws and regulations regarding employees forming labor unions. Capcom is committed to strictly observing all laws and regulations while furthering a working environment that prioritizes employee health, safety, and peace of mind. Capcom strives to provide a workplace environment with the utmost consideration given to health and safety of employees. You said that 3 times. We have implemented both staggered work hours and telecommuting to the greatest extent possible while carrying out best practices to prevent the spread of COVID-19, including social distancing at the office, checking employees' temperatures upon entry to the office, and providing masks to all employees. And then they talk about their telecommuting and stay-at-home measures and special paid leave for its employees, including members of development in 2021. Capcom has endeavored to limit attendance at offices as much as possible by utilizing a combination of staggered work, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
So yeah, it's a whistleblower who's claiming something.
And then Capcom.
Yeah, that Capcom is. I mean, that's the thing is they can say that their employees are free to form labor unions, but we both know that they can say that and then internal pressure say don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I mean, this is
it's a law. It's a law that they can form a labor union. It seems like.
They can, but there's always the internal pressures.
Right.
I mean, look at Amazon running anti-union ads on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
You saw that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's no surprise that they would pressure against it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I mean,
but that's not.
Capcom got hit. Capcom got hit by that giant leak, and I can understand why they would be hesitant to.
It's pretty tough. Yeah.
Continue vulnerable.
That's pretty tough.
Having a vulnerable work environment for their products, their IPs.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That's sensitive data.
What are they supposed to do? You know what I mean? Like that's a tough. They're just in a tough position.
It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Right. It looks like, I don't know, from what I've read, it doesn't seem anything too crazy. If you really feel uneasy about it, then you're just going to have to find another job, I guess. You know what I mean?
That leak kind of sucks because it's great because there's a lot of good stuff came out of that leak that I'm excited for, but it's also we could have just waited. We didn't need the leak to happen.
Right.
If it was going to cause these problems.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hindsight 2020. Yeah.
Hindsight's 2020.
If it's
like,
making
on one
people
hand,
feel
you're
like they have to go to work during COVID-19, yeah, that sucks for some leaks.
I will say that like leak culture in general for these companies, for gaming companies, there's a reason why, like before a Nintendo Direct or before a PlayStation State of Play or before that Pokemon event, when they announced like their new titles, I saw on Twitter that morning. I got up at like 6 in the morning and was like, "Oh, check Twitter real quick before I crash again." And I saw somebody like talking about the leaks, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds way too good to be true. That's probably fake."
Yeah.
And when it happened, I was like, "Well, I saw the leak." It takes any surprise out. It takes any enjoyment out.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
you
mean,
got to be
yeah,
first. You got to get that clout. You have to be the first one to break the news.
The leak industry is a fascinating industry for sure.
It is.
I
but
understand why they do it.
My
but I hate
counter
it.
argument too, though, is it's a lot easier than I think most people think to safely work from home encrypted, and that's more of a that's. It's always fascinating how easily information in this industry leaks to me, where it's just like, wow, that would it's really easy to fix that, you know? Like,
Well,
And yet it keeps happening.
how much of it is people selling the info? You know, how much of it is
I mean, yeah, there's a
the
lot
company
of stuff
themselves leaking? You know,
right, there's a lot of it there where like location doesn't matter. Like that's where I don't get about that is like when we're talking like if you're talking about highly like
I
we're
mean,
not
that leak
talking about
included
data that actually really matters, I guess is what I'm trying to get
that
at.
leak
And it's like it's
included-
not hard to encrypt everything, have everything done very well, and have your employees not click on weird fake email spams that they get. You know what I mean? Like that's not that hard, if I'm being honest. And that's whether you're inside at the same location or at home, that none of that changes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's where I don't understand that entirely.
Mm-hmm.
Like them being in the office and at home, it's still going to the same server. They're still clicking on the same emails. You know what I mean? Like none of that in practice is significantly changing for a gaming company. You can make that argument if they're working at their own server, you know, and this is like important secure data that you can only get on access at a specific site. But it's like we're talking about a game. Like it's just being uploaded to a Git that they have. You know what I mean? Like if you can't protect that, like it doesn't matter if you're at the office or you're at home, it's going to the same place.
Yeah, I'm. It's just as interesting because I don't know. I always find the dichotomy between the worker and the business owner during COVID fascinating. You know, like it seems like they're doing a good job at like if they're actually making staggering hours, limiting people at the office, checking temperatures, providing masks. I mean, that's pretty good. That's more than a lot of companies that I'm aware of. But at the other side, if you're someone like, remember early in this pandemic, some people that had to go to work, that fucking sucked, man. That was kind of scary where you're like, fuck, am I going to get it if I go to work? But what are you going to do? Everything sucks during the pandemic. There's no easy out.
No, yeah, I agree. I don't understand that part of the story, I guess, just because it's like, I mean,
they probably
it
just
could
want to
be-
be able to monitor everything. That's probably my guess.
Yeah.
They want everyone there so they can just monitor everything that you're doing.
I think it has to be that where like the leak is coming from someone selling something or
Yeah, they want to
something
make
really
sure.
dumb, like any employee clicking on an email because their actual work that they're doing, I very highly doubt is. For example, I very highly doubt that they're working with a Git server that you can only access on location. You know what I mean? Like, I doubt that.
Yeah. I think it's more they just want to monitor every fucking mouse click. All right.
Yeah.
That's that. That's the show. That's what we got. Wrapping it up. Thank you all for tuning in for this episode. We'll catch you guys next week, next Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Your only Sunday tech show. There's no other Sunday tech show that I'm aware of. So make sure you bookmark it and you subscribe. Is there another one?
There's a pretty big one.
What show?
What comes on immediately after us right now? This
Which-
Week in Tech.
Oh, is that Sunday night?
Yeah, that's still Sunday nights.
Oh fuck. Hey, maybe
That's
we
still
should
a pretty
go.
big one.
Maybe we should change the
Maybe we
time
should
so
go
we
about
come
to
on right
raid,
before it, and then people can go watch Twit right after. I forgot they even did a live show, to be honest. All right, go watch Leo Laporte.